Ready? All right. Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for being here today. We're going to get started. Thank you so much for being here. My name is Zach Hardy. I am a Senior State Government Relations Manager for the Michael J. Fox Foundation for Parkinson's Research. And on behalf of the advocates, farmers, public health leaders gathered here today, I'm eager to begin this important conversation about protecting the health of communities here in the Commonwealth. We are here today to urge the passage of House Bill 1135, legislation that would prohibit the use of paraquat, a highly toxic herbicide, in Pennsylvania. Scientific evidence shows that those who spray paraquat or live or work near where it is sprayed face an increased risk of developing Parkinson's disease and other serious health concerns. Continuing to use this toxin poses real harm to public health. Today, many of the individuals standing alongside me will be meeting directly with lawmakers to call for action on House Bill 1135 to ensure that Pennsylvania prioritizes the health and safety of its people. I want to extend a sincere thank you to the elected leaders who are championing this legislation. Senator Devlin Robinson, Representative Natalie Mihalek, and Representative Melissa Schusterman. We are grateful for your leadership and your commitment to protecting Pennsylvanians. I'd also like to thank our advocacy partners, including Parkinson Foundation, Western Pennsylvania, the Environmental Working Group, Parkinson's Foundation, and the Parkinson's Council, whose tireless work has helped bring urgency and visibility to this issue. Today, you'll hear from lawmakers and advocates who understand firsthand why action on paraquat cannot wait. Together, we are calling for a safer future for Pennsylvania's farming communities and for all of those at risk of exposure. Thank you again for being here, and with that, I'm pleased to begin today's program by welcoming Senator Devlin Robinson.
Thank you, and thank you so much to the Parkinson Foundation of Western Pennsylvania, the Parkinson's Council, the Environmental Working Group, and the Michael J. Fox Foundation for Parkinson Research. All the other passionate advocates here today for hosting this event and inviting me to speak on something that everyone gathered here cares about deeply: defeating Parkinson's disease. Parkinson's is the fastest rising neurological disorder in the world, plaguing its victims with difficult symptoms like tremors, rigidity, instability, and other life-altering motor system symptoms affecting nearly every aspect of everyday living. To say the least, it's a challenging disease that completely alters the lives of those with a diagnosis and their families. There are both internal and external factors that can cause the onset of Parkinson's disease. But we are here today to focus on one cause in particular that is within our control: the toxic weed killer, paraquat. The evidence linking paraquat to Parkinson's disease is clear. Studies show that working in fields where paraquat has been sprayed, or even just living near fields or golf courses where it has been sprayed, significantly increases a person's chances of developing Parkinson's disease. But Parkinson's is not the only health problem linked to paraquat. Non-Hodgkin's, lymphoma, and childhood leukemia are also connected to the use of or exposure to this dangerous and toxic pesticide. The dangers of paraquat to human health are well established through numerous scientific studies. Over 70 countries have banned the use, including the entire European Union and China, where paraquat is made. So think about that. Syngenta, the company that manufactures paraquat, has paid millions in settlements to those it harmed with this unsafe pesticide. Bottom line, exposure to paraquat is hazardous and sometimes even fatal. Despite this, more than 10 million pounds of paraquat is sprayed on American crops each year. Other countries have found safer alternatives to paraquat, and we think it's time for Pennsylvania to do the same. I'm proud to partner with my colleagues, Representative Natalie Mihalek and Melissa Schusterman, to sponsor legislation that will ban the use of paraquat in the state of Pennsylvania. As elected officials, it is our responsibility to protect our farmers, agricultural workers, and Pennsylvanians from Parkinson's and other diseases that are caused by this dangerous pesticide. I appreciate the partnership of all who are standing here today and look forward to working with my colleagues to move this bill through the legislative process. I thank you.
Thank you, Senator, for your advocacy and leadership. I'd like to welcome one of our main sponsors for House Bill 1135, Representative Natalie Mihalek.
Thank you so much. I do just want to thank the Michael J. Fox Foundation for being so engaged in this issue that's near and dear to their hearts, to the advocates that are here today, to the families and the friends. Thank you for standing up for what's right. Thank you to my colleagues who have joined in this fight. A very special thank you to Representative Schusterman for being my partner in this fight. And thank you to Senator Robinson for taking up the fight in his chamber. Today we stand together because that is the only way we will beat this disease. Today we stand together because that is the only way that we will prevent this awful disease. Parkinson's disease is not simply the result of aging or bad luck, and I'm going to steal a Michael J. Fox quote. Genetics loads the gun, and the environment pulls the trigger. We have created an environment that is friendly to Parkinson's disease because we have also created an environment, a regulatory environment, that is friendly to toxic chemicals. Paraquat is one of the most toxic herbicides ever on the market, and even in small quantities can be deadly. If you took a sip, it would kill you quickly. If you spent years spraying it or living in the vicinity of where it's sprayed, something much worse can happen. Parkinson's, kidney disease, liver failure, cancer, a slow death. Paraquat will kill the neurons in your brain. Paraquat exposure doubles your risk of developing Parkinson's disease. So who pays the price? Farm workers, rural communities, people standing here today, people like my friend and colleague, Representative Mandy Steele from Allegheny County, who lost her mom to Parkinson's disease just a few years ago. People like another colleague of mine, Representative Valerie Gatos, who lost her husband to Parkinson's disease. Pennsylvania has one of the highest rates of Parkinson's disease in the nation. In 2023 alone, nearly 2,000 Pennsylvanians died from Parkinson's. And nationwide, nearly 90,000 Americans are diagnosed every year, a number that continues to rise. The vast majority of Paraquat on the market, like my colleague, Senator Robinson said, is produced in China, who, by the way, took steps back in 2012 to ban its use on their own crops. Over 70 countries across the globe have realized how toxic Paraquat is and have banned its use. So why are we behind? Once the EPA approves an herbicide, it is nearly impossible to revoke that approval. And we've seen this in other areas of government where, despite new evidence, there is either slow or no action on the part of the federal government. When federal regulators fail, states have a duty to step up, and that's what Pennsylvania must do. This legislation is about choosing people over profit. It is about protecting Pennsylvanians before they get sick, not apologizing after they do with multi-million-dollar settlements for the pain and suffering with Parkinson's disease. And it is about refusing to accept a system where chemicals banned across the globe are still poisoning Americans here at home. If the federal government won't act, Pennsylvania must, and we must do it now. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Representative Mihalek, for your leadership on this issue and for being here today. Next, I'd like to welcome another strong legislative champion on this issue and legislation, Representative Melissa Schusterman.
Thank you, Zach. I want to thank everyone for being here. So what do we say? Ban Paraquat. Ban Paraquat. Ban Paraquat now. All right, we got that. We're going to do that again at the end. It takes advocates like you all to have a day like today to put this front of mind to our leadership to demand a vote on this bill in committee and then on the floor. So standing in front of all of you today, I am deeply moved. It is so important that the laws we pass as legislators have enormous impacts on the residents of the Commonwealth. With all of you in mind, I want to focus again on why we are here today. Paraquat and its devastating health impacts. We know that even in the 70s, as I was walking over here today, people are like, what are you doing? Well, I'm talking about paraquat. And they're like, wasn't that something in the 70s? Yes. Back in the 70s, 50 years ago, the manufacturers of paraquat first started to take note of neurological effects of paraquat, 50 years ago. And in the decades since, more than 70 countries have enacted laws prohibiting the use of paraquat. Even our good neighbor, Canada, no longer registers paraquat for use. It is embarrassing that the US is so far behind. We have enough data, we have enough witnesses, and we have enough research. We have the knowledge. With the federal government unwilling to move to protect us, I believe that now it is time for states to act. So I urge my colleagues in the legislature to join us. So now, what do we say now? Ban paraquat now. Ban paraquat now. Today's better. Ban paraquat today. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Representative Schusterman. Next, I'd like to welcome Christine Haythorne, the Executive Director and CEO of Parkinson Foundation of Western Pennsylvania.
Good afternoon. I'm very grateful to be here today with all of you, and I'm so very grateful. Our entire community of people with Parkinson's are grateful to the sponsors of this bill, both in the House and the Senate now. We deal with a different side of this disease. So we are very active in advocacy, but Parkinson Foundation Western Pennsylvania is really an organization that serves the people who have already been diagnosed. And we also are trying to get the word out because so many people are undiagnosed. We know in our 22 county region that there are more than 20,000 people with a Parkinson's diagnosis. That doesn't even come close to the numbers that we know exist. And I want to invite all Pennsylvanians, not just those who live in Western Pennsylvania, to participate in our programming. We provide exercise, support groups, and education about the disease, both for the person with Parkinson's, their caregivers, adult children, young onset. Many people are developing Parkinson's disease under the age of 50. And they're saying it's going to be a pandemic in 10 years. So we currently have virtual programming through all of those sectors: exercise, education, and support groups. We have people participating on our programming from Ireland and Poland and all over the United States. So please spread the word that we exist to help this ever-growing disease, and we would love for you to be a part of our community. Thank you.
Thank you. Hi, everybody. I'm just going to jump in here. I'm Representative Mandy Steele. Representative Mandy Steele from Pittsburgh. These are 3 of my 4 kids, Catherine, William, and Flora. And I lost my mom 2 years ago to Parkinson's. Guess where we grew up? Right next to a golf course. And we cross-country skied on the golf course in the winter, and we walked our dogs around the perimeter, the trail perimeter, and we played in the stream where we caught little fish and crayfish and put them in buckets and took them home. And my mom should be here with us today. She was a great lover of the earth and her family and being outside and the sun and the trees and the grass. But because our home was near that golf course, she's gone. And she won't see them grow. Speaker, they were everything to her. How is this not banned in this country? It is banned in China, for God's sake. How are we still enduring this chemical in our communities, in our water? How are we still exposing Americans to this? I'm sorry, I am angry and I am sad, and I am excited to see all of you here because we've got fighters here. The legislators that are advancing this bill are strong and courageous, and I'll support them wholeheartedly. And thank you from our family for advocating for this. You're doing a good job. And you've got my support and the support of my children. And we're going to get it done. Thank you.
Thank you, Representative, for sharing your personal story, one of countless stories of folks who have been impacted by Parkinson's. Your bravery in sharing that today is much appreciated.
Can we have Valerie Gatos share her story?
Of course, we're going to welcome Valerie to the podium to share her story as well.
Thank you, and thank you for the sponsors of this bill. My mother passed away in 2017. She had Parkinson's. She struggled with 25 years with Parkinson's. To see somebody who was so robust, the mom who would go to our lacrosse games, the mom who would bake cookies for the team, the mom who ran her own retail shop, to be taken by Parkinson's, which just strips every piece of energy out from an individual. To watch my mother go through that, and to know there's facts that it comes down to some of the chemicals, including paraquat. There's a list of other ones. Fortunately, many of those have already been banned, but we're not done yet. These are chemicals that affect everybody, and it's not just creating Parkinson's, it's creating all of these other diseases. Health is the most important part of one's life, and to see that these chemicals are stripping people of that, it's just, and I commend my colleagues who stand up, because it really is hard to talk about Parkinson's and these diseases when it really does affect your loved ones. So I commend our sponsors of this bill. Thank you very much for doing this, and I wholeheartedly support this, and I think we should ban paraquat. Thank you.
Today.
Thank you. And as you can see, our support here is great. I want to give another shout out legislatively to Senator Nick Miller. He is not here with us today, but another strong champion for this legislation. But next I want to turn it over to Alexandria Russell, a board member of the Parkinson Council.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for being here. My name is Alexandria Russell, and I'm a board member of the Parkinson Council, a Pennsylvania-based nonprofit dedicated to improving the quality of life for people living with Parkinson's disease and supporting the families as well who care for them. I'm also a Philly-based speech-language pathologist, go Birds, for adults and seniors, and I'm a former care partner to my dad who lived with Parkinson's. And I'm here today to ask you to support House Bill 1135. I've seen this disease up close, both professionally and personally, for over a decade. I've watched how it affects communication, swallowing, independence, and dignity. And I've watched what it does to families, not only the ones that I treat every day, but my own. Parkinson's is not rare, and it's not just about aging. The fastest growing neurological disease in the world is increasingly linked to environmental exposures. One of the most well-documented of those exposures is paraquat, a highly toxic herbicide that has been repeatedly associated with an increased risk of Parkinson's disease. And this isn't speculative. Leading researchers like Dr. Ray Dorsey have identified paraquat as a major environmental risk factor. thousands of individuals are currently facing the harsh reality that their use or exposure to paraquat is directly linked to their Parkinson's disease, many of them agricultural workers who are simply doing their jobs. Opponents of the bill suggest that banning paraquat will harm farmers, but the facts tell a different story. Paraquat accounts for only about 1% of all pesticide applications in the US. The vast majority of farmers do not use it, and many have already transitioned to safer alternatives. This bill does not take farming away. It prioritizes health and safety without disrupting most agricultural operations. House Bill 1135 is about prevention. It's about ensuring that future families don't have to ask whether a loved one's Parkinson's could have been avoided. It's about protecting workers, rural communities, and our public health. At the Parkinson Council, we support people living with Parkinson's today, but we also believe in preventing harm tomorrow. Pennsylvania has the opportunity to lead the nation by putting science, health, and people first. As a daughter, a clinician, and an advocate, I urge lawmakers to support House Bill 1135. This is a moment for us all to act before more lives are changed forever. Thank you.
Thank you, Alexandria. And for our final speaker, I'd like to welcome Lorenzo Rarasano, owner and operator of Foot of the Mountain Farm located in Franklin County.
Hello. I'm actually going to speak alongside my wife because she's just as important as I am in our operation. And she's going to introduce us.
Hello, everyone. My name is Jessie Verasano, along with my husband, Lorenzo, and some of our children that are here. We run Foot of the Mountain Farm. We are a small farm in Franklin County, Pennsylvania. We do produce, and we also have a small organic sourdough bakery that we converted our old barn into a bakery to provide that for our customers. 100% of the whole grains that we get for our bakery come from local farms that are growing organically, chemical-free, without the use of any synthetic chemical herbicides and pesticides. We attend 3 farmers markets in our area, and we're really excited to be here. So thank you.
So I'm a farmer, not a public speaker, so forgive me. But yeah, so we do chemical-free regenerative agriculture. So the produce is grown without chemicals, and we use organic practices. We are one of thousands of farms across the country that have figured out how to produce over $100,000 per acre. There's farms right now doing regenerative practices that can grow up to $500,000 per acre in organic produce. And as my wife said, the bakery, we're supplied with 100% whole grains from local farms, and they're all growing regeneratively and organically. In our little valley, Path Valley, there's 2 co-ops that support dozens of regenerative and organic farms, and they're growing lots of healthy, nutrient-dense vegetables and fruit, and also grains for bread and cereals and things of that nature. So we know it can be done. We know we can transition from chemical-based agriculture to chemical-free regenerative agriculture, and there's farms all across the country doing this, and without any support, we don't receive subsidies, we don't get crop insurance. Our insurance is diversifying and relying on the biodiversity of our farm and a diverse business plan. But as farmers, so we go to 3 farmers markets, as my wife said, and each week it's sort of like you run a focus group across the community. We're in Gettysburg, Carlisle, Chambersburg, and you sort of get the sentiment of the public in Pennsylvania here. So there's, we have independent shoppers, we have Republican shoppers, we have Democratic shoppers, and the general sentiment I'm feeling is that everybody wants to see politicians, whether in the state, federal government, working together to accomplish things that help people, not multinational corporations like ChemChina or Syngenta that manufactures paraquat, but doing things that actually helps the American people. You know, we hear a lot of rhetoric. We're all aware that there's a lot of good talk out there, you know, we've heard it. But when we follow the money trail, when we follow the policy trail, what we see is politicians who are sticking up for multinational foreign corporations and billionaires. We want to see politicians that stand up for something that's right. We don't, you know, we stand here not supporting this bill because we think we're going to win. We stand here supporting it because we know it's the right thing to do, and that's what we want to see more politicians doing. Thank you.
Thank you both for being here. Well, as you can see, you all right?
Could you recognize Representative Latasha Mays?
We okay back here? We could get a chair.
Do they have a wheelchair over there or something? It's okay. Okay.
Okay. All right. We are good. Thank you all. Well, we are wrapping up today. As you can see here, the momentum is on our side for this bill to pass House Bill 1135. I want to thank our legislative partners. I want to thank our advocates, family members, caretakers who are here today. We're happy to take any questions here or on the side, but thank you all so much for being here today for this important bill. We really appreciate it.